Hi, I'm Melissa and welcome to Teacher Inspiration Station. In today's video, I thought I would share with you what my plans are for the first day of school. Now, I know some of you have already started school, but for us, school starts in September on the 9th. So we have a couple weeks before we have to head back, but I do like to plan that first day of school in the summer. I find in the summer you have time to there's no pressure because you're kind of just doing it at your own pace, and so I do enjoy summer planning. What I like to focus on the first few weeks of school is, of course, establishing routines, respect, rules. This whole COVID-19 protocol is a new one that we have to think about as well. Well, it's somewhat new. We had to do it last year as well. And of course, getting to know each other, right? And building that community, that classroom community, that family. But those are my primary focuses when we first start school. So I got this template. This is a planning template for a day plan. I got this, I don't remember the name of the person I got it from, but I will link them down below. It was $1 for this template. And I really like it because it has information on the side. Like, this could be the one that I use daily, although I do have a planner. I'll get to that in a second. This could be the one I use daily, but if for some reason I'm not going to be at school, which happened last year where my son was sick and I couldn't come to school, emergency, I do have an emergency bin and bucket set up, but I also like this idea where information about how to get a hold of the VP, the principal, the office, I can put the codes there. And it has like washroom policy, fire drill procedures, lockdown procedures, recess duty, responsible students, students with special needs or even allergies I can include on there. So at least like the very important stuff is laid out there every day in the plan. So I really do like this layout. And then there's a space there for the day plan. Now, day plans are different from lesson plans. Lesson plans are a bit more in depth. You have your objectives and you have your assessments, and it's very detailed. That's different from what this is, which is just an outline of your day. Now, I do like to use these. I have a teacher planner, a happy planner, and in the happy planner they do have, let me just show you, they do have these boxes here where you can plan. The boxes are quite small for writing, but you can type, and I have typed them up, creating my own rows and columns, typing it up. But I really do like this. I like the fact that I can just plan day by day. If I want to do 2 days ahead, I can. If I want to do a week ahead, if I just want to do 1 day ahead, I can. I do like that, whereas I feel like this style, I feel like I have to think of the whole week ahead of time, which sometimes I don't like to do that because sometimes an activity takes longer. Sometimes you have to go over something. So I do like to plan like a day or two ahead of time. But some of you might think, okay, like, why do you have this and still have this? But I do like the layout of this template. And again, I will link it down below. And what I do, once I have everything correlated to my school, like the periods and the times and things like that, I just update it every day. So some people, or what I've done in the past is I've saved a new copy every day. Like, I'll copy, paste, and then keep saving, and I'll just have like a really big file with all my plans. Or you can just print it out and then just change whatever you gotta change the next day, and you're just saving the one plan each day. So you don't have a backup of it, but if you're writing your plans down, do we have a backup of it? We typically don't, right? So you can just save it, make your changes, save, make your changes again the next day, save, like that. And I have my hole punch, the Happy Planner hole punch, and I just stick them in, and that's just what I do. I don't have my hole punch here, but I just stick them in like that. And what you can also do is you can take out the pages that you don't need. So for me, September, I'll put all my plans for September, and then all of this, well, I'll need that. The insides, I can take out. So the pages that I don't really need, so they don't bulk up your planner. You can just take them out if you don't want to use them. Yeah, that's just an alternative of what you can do. Everybody's different, everyone's needs are different, so that's just what I do. So let's go ahead and get started. So entry to school, I go through the COVID-19 screening process and I sanitize the children's hands. But entry to the classroom, so they find their name necklace. I like to make little name necklaces for the children. Depends on the year. Sometimes I've used those little stickers that say hello, my name is, but then I have to keep making them every day. Or I could just do name necklaces that I make with index cards and a yarn. I usually do that. You can buy name necklaces online, Amazon or whatever, or your school might have some, but either way, they're gonna have to find their name. I'm not quite sure exactly how that's gonna look like, if their names are gonna be on a table and they pick their name necklaces up from a table and go sit at their spot, or if they're just gonna walk and find their name in their spot. I feel like that would be a bit more, not chaotic, because it won't be chaotic, but a bit more work. Whereas if they just find their name, or I could have them line up and I can call them by name and say, so-and-so, here's your name necklace, and they kind of come in one by one. I could do it like that. I think that's what I did last year. Anyways, I'll figure that out, but they need to have a name necklace. On their desks, there's gonna be a piece of paper with some crayons or a pencil, and they can draw anything. They can draw about their feelings of coming back to school. They can draw what they did over the summer. They can draw a story. It doesn't matter. It's just something for them to do while kids are coming into the classroom, and just a time for them to kind of focus. And I don't want something that's hard or overwhelming, that they're just like, oh, grade 1 is so hard. You know what I mean? Just keep it simple, keep it friendly and happy and light. So when they come in, they can work on their drawings, and I'll get their attention. And one way, the first way that I get their attention is the clap, and they know what to do. That's like the universal clap that people know, that when you hear that, they repeat that. And then of course I'll say, ooh, because there might be some kids who don't know what to do, and I'll do it again. And that could be my first introduction to a way that I would get their attention. And then I could collect their sheet, tell them to write their name on their sheets, which is a great assessment piece as well, to see who knows how to write their name and also how they write and all that. And I'll welcome them to grade 1. The big, I wouldn't say it's the elephant in the room, but the thing that we know and talk about is COVID-19. They are going to be wearing masks as far as I know. So it's going to look very similar to last school year. I do have this book, Back to School, and I'll link it down below. I did find it on Teachers Pay Teachers. And it just talks about what you do at school. It talks about the fact that we have to wear masks, our masks help keep our germs to ourselves. It talks about sanitizer, and talks about by following these rules, we show our friends and teachers that we care about them. So I feel like this should be one of the things that we talk about from the very beginning, because that's something, well, these kids are in grade 1, so most of their school life has been masks. They didn't have masks the first kindergarten year, so, but still, it's something that's important for them to understand. So this is going to be the first read aloud that I read to them. And I do have posters that we have in our classroom that talk about, again, sanitizing, wearing a mask. If you feel sick, don't come to school. It just kind of goes over those rules. And I do go over that every single day. After a while, I don't go over it as often, but for the beginning, yes. Because they're all kids who will come to school even when they're sick. So, I mean, that's something that happened in the past because we weren't so strict. There was no COVID-19. Kids will come with a sniffle or whatever, but things are different now. So if you're sick, they do not want you at school. If the teacher's sick, they don't want you at school. I'm not exactly sure what the specific protocols are yet, but last year it was, if anyone in your house is sick or showing any signs of COVID, they didn't want you to come to school. So let the kids know that, so that when they are feeling sick, they can say to their parents, I'm not allowed to go to school. You know what I mean? So we need the help from the kids and each other to not make sicknesses or COVID spread, right? So we talked to students about how things will be different this year, asked them if they know why things will be different, what are some differences happening this school year, and why are we doing this? So again, last year, they had a similar school experience. So it's maybe not going to be so new to them. Still, this isn't normal to wear masks and things like that. So just letting them know this is temporary, and why we have to do this, right? Okay, and so then I'll read them the book, and I would like to know how you're feeling about coming to school. Have students answer. I'll write the responses on chart paper. How do you feel about wearing a mask? How do you feel about social distancing, COVID-19? And I have this worksheet that I got. Again, I'll link them below. It's the same place where I got this. How do you feel? So they can draw a picture about how they feel about coming back to school. So it's just drawing a picture. They don't need to write words. They can. There's gonna be some kids who are wanting to write. That's fine. They can write their feeling: happy, scared, nervous, excited, whatever, however they're feeling. How do you feel about wearing a mask? What are your feelings towards that? Social distancing, and about COVID-19. That's just this little sheet here. And I can have kids share their responses. I like to collect the sheets and then hold it up and ask, is it okay if I share it? Or some kids will be very excited to share. Some kids will be a bit more shy. It's not a requirement to share, but I do like them sharing their work, so they can work on that for a bit. Then we're gonna go over the routines for recess and the washrooms. So the kids have to go in partners. The thing is with the washroom, a lot of the times we say go during recess, but because we're trying to limit the amount of traffic in the washrooms at recess, especially because of COVID, there can't be a lot of kids in the washrooms. I will encourage them to go even before recess as well. So I'll say, okay, is there anybody who'd like to go to the washroom? And I'll show them where the washrooms are, let them know they have to go in partners, let them know that they need to ask, because things are going to be different because they've been at home. You know, if they have to go to the washroom, they just go to the washroom. So just let them know that, hey, if you have to leave the classroom, you need to ask me first. So what that's to get a drink, which they can't use fountains, but they do have water bottles. And the washroom is just down the hall. They go with the partner, and I just show them or teach them the protocols for that. And also the protocols for recess. So last year how we did it is there was different cohorts. So cohorts A and B would be at the playscape on day 1. And then on day 2s, they were gonna be on the field. And then on day 3, they'd be on the junior climber or whatever, or the basketball courts. Like there was different places that the kids had to play with, and that worked really well. Like at first I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but it worked really well. And the kids knew where they were supposed to be, and they didn't mix up the cohorts, right? So I did like that they stayed in their designated spots. And you know, if gym wasn't your favorite place to be, that's okay. You were there for the day, and it is what it is. Anyways, it worked out. So we go over that rule, and then they come in and we can do some, I like to not just jump in. I like to do something like music and movement, or a game, or something to kind of just say we came in, and just to kind of get them settled before we really start on our lesson. So we'll do some music and movement, or I can do a little read aloud or a book on tape, just something simple. And then we're gonna play a community building game. So basically, it's not really a game, but if the kids just share their name and their favorite color. So my name is Melissa, my favorite color is pink. And just very simple, very simple. There's different versions where people say their name and then the names of all the kids before, but I feel like it takes a lot of time. Like this is very time consuming. They'll learn each other's names eventually. I don't think we need to do that game, but they can each share their name and then their favorite color or something. I like to keep things simple. So favorite color I feel like is simple. And then they could talk about something we want to learn in grade 1. And then we're going to talk about respect. So my rules this year are respect yourself. Well, in addition to like the COVID rules, but respect yourself, respect others, and respect property, which the COVID rules also fall in line with that. So when you respect yourself and respect others, you're going to be wearing your mask. You're going to be social distancing. You're not going to be screaming in someone's face We go over what respect looks like, what it doesn't look like. I'm gonna read them this book called Respect and Take Care of Things. And I'll have them draw a picture on what respect looks like. So a picture of them showing respect in school. So it can be respect in the classroom, respect on the playground, respect when we're eating our lunch, just whatever respect looks like. And there'll be a little space for writing. I do not have a template for that, but that is something that we will do, and I'll just quickly make up templates I like to do are just like a little box for a picture and then some lines for words. Again, great assessment piece to know how they're doing with their writing. And with writing, I like to encourage them being independent. I know a lot of kids, I don't know how to spell this, I don't know how to spell that. If you start going around and start spelling for them, then you become their personal dictionaries. So I want to set the standard or set the expectation from the beginning that they're going to try their best. And that's all I ask from them is the best, right? So we'll do that. And then again, I'll have different kids share if they would like to share. Okay, and then we will go over the lunch routines and procedures. One thing they have to do before they eat lunch is wash their hands. So I'll show them the procedure for washing their hands. There's this whole like method. You go like this, 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 this. And there's this whole method for washing your hands just to make sure you get all the dirt off, or as much dirt and germs as possible. And the routines for how they eat. I like to play calm music just to kind of set the tone. And then they go outside for lunch when it's time to, when I dismiss them to go outside. So after recess, we are going to do a read aloud, and I'm gonna do All Are Welcome. So that's a great book. It just talks about no matter who you are, where you're from, what you did. I like quoting a Backstreet Boys song. But you are welcome in the classroom. So we're gonna read that. And then I have this little activity that I got for free on Teachers Pay Teachers. Like someone just drew this. It's like an All About Me book. Someone just drew this and like put it up, which is fine. It's not digitally done. Very basic. This part here, a portrait of me. So they could draw pictures of themselves. And I'll show them too, like, can you guys see that? I don't even know if you can see that. And I'll show them too, like where you can do your eyes. Don't saw your eyes up here, leave space. I like to do an example of me. And then I do have those skin color crayons that they can use to color themselves. But I like to encourage them to make it look like them. So a portrait of me. And then there's other parts to this booklet, which is my favorite color. The color of my eyes are. And then how old are you? Draw that many number of candles. My birthday is, I don't know if I'm gonna have them do the entire booklet at once or if I'm just gonna give them just this page. How I tie it into the book All Are Welcome is that we're all different. So, and we're all the same. We do have similarities about us as well. So it's just talking about yourself and who you are and what you like and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna give them the booklet. I think I'm just gonna give them the booklet. They can kind of just work on it at their own pace. And then we're gonna go have kids share their booklets, and then we'll play a Guess the Leader, where I pick one person to go out in the hall, then I pick a leader in the classroom to do an action. It could be clapping, it could be snapping, it could be this. And then everyone in the class, when that person comes back, everyone is following the leader, and the person who left has to guess who the leader is. Now we talk about don't stare at the leader to make it obvious who the leader is. Just kind of glance every so often, and when you see some kids changing their action, that lets you know that, hey, the leader probably changed your action, so you can go ahead and change your action. And yeah, so that's a fun little game. Again, community building. Then I'll have a prep. And then another book I'm gonna read is called Our Class is a Family. And just talk about the fact that we're spending a lot of time together in the classroom. And your family are not only the people that you live with, but our class becomes a family too. It's the people that you care about, and we're gonna get to know each other this school year, and our class will be a family, right? Or like a family. So we'll read that. And we'll do some music and movement after that, or we'll keep it simple, keep it light, keep it fun. And I do have this Alpha Tales book that the kids really like, that I think is just a nice little way to end our day. And then we'll go over the dismissal routines. I have kids who go to daycare, kids who get picked up by a caregiver, and let them know what that looks like. You can't just run out. You gotta show me who's here to pick you up. And yeah, so there's a whole routine that I'll go over with the kids, and then we'll get ready and then we'll go. So that's the day. Simple. Again, and I like to break things up in steps. I want the kids to go and line up for recess. I'll call them by either by individual person or by group. Stand up, line up in the classroom first, one by one or group by group. We'll all go outside. I show them where to line up in the, so like everything that you do, like I know I kind of just went over things kind of quickly, but things are done like step by step by step by step to, for management reasons, but also just to help them learn. As they learn your routines and the procedures, you can kind of, you know, like, okay, can I have you all stand up, pushing your chairs and line up? At some point you can just say everyone, but in the first bit of school, I do like to do it individually or by group. Keep it simple, keep everything in steps. And you're gonna have to repeat because they're in grade 1, and yeah. Anyways, that is it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumb up, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.